So we are talking about the new horror movie, The OWLMAN.
Owl.
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 Owl on her back, staring at me, judging me.
Now this one was also known as Lord of Tears back in 2013, but it's only just been released in 2016 here in the UK, directed by Lauri Brewster. Now this is a Scottish film and focuses on a character called James, who has recently inherited a large kind of mansion, basically, that he grew up in, but he's not been back there since. He's estranged from his family, and he gets a kind of an ominous warning, basically, with in the form of a letter from his deceased mother, warning him not to go back there. And of course he does, because he has kind of gaps in his memory, and he kind of wants to try and remember what happened in his childhood. So he goes up there basically and finds this kind of very kind of gothic, stately home type place, and he meets this young lady called Evie, who he kind of sparks off this kind of relationship with. He's plagued by visions of this kind of mysterious OWLMAN figure that's kind of wandering around and being ominous, and he finds clues to his past, and all will be revealed at the end of this movie. So let's talk about the OWLMAN. Now I have to say, before I did watch this film, I actually had read a few reviews myself to see what generally the feeling was about it. And if you look at IMDb, nearly all the reviews are like 10 out of 10. I'm thinking, are they watching a different film? Because let me tell you, this film is balls. They must be watching a different film to what I saw, because what I saw was anything but a 10 out of 10 movie. A 10 out of 10 movie, to me, is a perfect film. This isn't a 0 out of 10, I will say, but it's a bit of a headache to sit through this one. So let me talk about, we'll go into the negatives first of all. The acting, oh my god, the acting is so bad here. The main guy who plays James, Ewan Douglas, the actor is called, doesn't have many acting credits. He is awful. Obviously an amateur actor, I must assume, really kind of a weak leading man, unfortunately. Terrible line delivery. He's acting next to Alexandra Nicole Hulme, who is a little bit more experienced, but I have to say their chemistry is awful. They're absolutely awful, and the way that she is written, she comes across as way too kind of in your face and kind of forthcoming, shall we say. So you know something's weird about her. There's a kind of twist towards the end of the film, and you kind of think, hang on a second, this character has been written to be way too kind of forward and kind of not what you would expect, basically, in this kind of situations. You know there's going to be a bit of a rug-pulling moment later on in the movie, and sure enough, I won't tell you what it is, but, you know, you could see it coming a mile off, basically. The remainder of the cast is sparse. It's mainly these two, and also it almost plays like a play. Now, the weird thing here, so we've covered off the acting. Let's talk about the pacing. The pacing of this film is terrible. It's so slow, and there's so many extended scenes that simply don't need to be in there. Now, this Alexandra Hulme is clearly a dancer, because they just focus so long on this one dance scene. This is one example. Oh, you know, we've got her from America, so let's have this massive extended dance scene. We don't need it. And there's like so many kind of just moments where the camera lingers. The other thing is, the filmmakers clearly want to be arty, and there's so many kind of these kind of like dream sequences and the kind of artistic shots of kind of weird things happening in front of the camera and stuff like that. It becomes annoying real fast, let me tell you. Now, to these kind of reviews and stuff, I think people will see this and, oh, it's got to be an arty film. I don't want to give it a bad review because I don't want to look like I don't understand it. It's the only reason I can put for these overly positive reviews. The story itself, like I said, is somewhat simplistic. Now, it could or could not involve a mysterious figure, Mark, who is a potential deity, shall we say. The story, I have to say, if we're going into the positives here, when it's all said and done, although I don't think it was executed particularly well, and I think it was fairly obvious about what was going on to a point, I didn't think it was a bad story necessarily, but I think the execution of it was poorly executed. The other thing I would say that in its favour, I think the soundtrack's quite good. It does have some quite nice music, although sometimes it's a little distracting. And the location shooting is all very good as well. It being kind of a Scottish film, it does benefit from some quite nice scenery and quite nice location shooting, particularly in the kind of the large house and stuff where it's all taking place. But overall, god damn, this film was a chore to sit through. The OWLMAN, which is, you know, I mean, I've seen some comparisons between him and the Slender Man. It just looks ridiculous, unfortunately. I guess it's okay in pictures. Looks okay in pictures, but in practice, on a kind of a lower budget film like this, is unfortunately just poor. And he's barely in it, if I'm honest. And also, don't be expecting like a slasher movie, which I think the cover maybe kind of fools you into thinking maybe what it is, and it's really not. So, to be honest with you, this film I found quite painful to sit through. I don't know how it's got these massively positive reviews. Yeah, it's gothic-y, fantastic. Doesn't mean it's good. So for me, I'm going to give this movie a 2.5 out of 10. Pretty bad in my estimation. I don't understand where these positive reviews are coming from, even from some professional critics, I've got to say. But I could be wrong. That's my opinion at least. So have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.